One of the other challenges that we find is inadequate human resources in research. And so while Jamaica and the Caribbean at large have a rich history of persons conducting primary research, so we do a lot of research in child development, we do a lot of research in nutrition, particularly protein, energy, malnutrition. We also do lots of research in chronic non-communicable diseases. We find that there are gaps in our skill set when it comes on to the conduct of systematic reviews, particularly shortages in the areas of information searching and retrieval and statistical analysis. And if you're from a developing country, you may find that these are some of the similar challenges that you have. Someone who knows how to manipulate and create a comprehensive search strategy, who knows how to pull down the publications that you are in need of. You may also find you have challenges with persons who are very much aware of the statistical techniques that need to be done using statistical packages such as SAS or Stata or Review Manager, which is what we use predominantly in the Cochrane. And so these we have found to be two of the important areas that we find shortages in terms of skills. We also took a look on Archie, which is a repository that is used by Cochrane to manage or to do the administrative side of the production of the systematic review. And what we found was that there are very few contributors to Cochrane products living in the English-speaking Caribbean. And so what we realized is that perhaps one of the reasons that limited the participation of developing country persons in producing systematic review was that they didn't feel they have the necessary skill. And so what we did was to try and build capacity to conduct systematic reviews. And so we did several things in order to overcome this challenge. One is that we partnered with an experienced Cochrane group in the form of the Cochrane and Campbell Equity Methods Group, because again, we are interested in doing systematic review in health and in development. And so we involved the Campbell collaboration at the time. And so people like Peter Tugwell and Vivian Welch were very instrumental in assisting in building out the skill set of persons who wanted to participate in these reviews through apprenticeship and placement at the University of Ottawa. The other important step that researchers in developing countries can use is to have close dialogue with the Cochrane Review Group, with which particular the systematic review group is registered. So in particular, we were conducting a systematic review on interventions for diabetic foot ulceration with the wounds group, and we paid particular attention to the fact that we had weaknesses and challenges, and we made those known to the review group, and they were able to provide us assistance. So there are going to be instances where you do not have a library scientist on your team in the developing country, and you can pull on the trial search coordinator or the information specialist that resides with the Cochrane Review Group. And so we found that that was a useful way of overcoming the challenge of both developing the search strategy as well as running the search and retrieving the articles. An important aspect of building capacity to conduct systematic review in any country is having what is known as a critical mass of skilled personnel. And so we also embarked on short, or what we call brief fellowships. And so we had 2 fellowships where we placed an epidemiologist and a physician at the Johns Hopkins University, where the Cochrane US Center was based. And so under the tutelage of Kay Dickerson and Roberta Scherer, that person received training in conducting systematic review and then was able to come back to the developing country to provide similar assistance in terms of training to other participants. And so it is important that not only do we lean on our high-income partners, but we train persons who can come back to our developing country setting to help with training of persons to provide that technical skill and guidance that might be needed. It is also important to note that you should always try to have a group or a set of resource persons that you can always go to when there is need for methodological brainstorming, or you may need guidance in particular methodological issues. So things like meta bias or network meta-analysis. These are usually sophisticated areas of systematic reviews that may require consulting with persons who are more familiar or have greater experience in that area. And so having a support team or a resource base usually in high-income countries or wherever you may find that is very useful to have. So following that, one of the things we have done annually since 2013 is to have our Caribbean Cochrane Systematic Review Workshop. And so over the last 5 years, we have trained hundreds of researchers, physicians, and other allied healthcare workers in the conduct and use of the systematic review, using, of course, Cochrane methodology. We have also lended assistance because of the skills that we have gained over the years to training in other jurisdictions that is not developing countries. But for example, we have gone to the Cochrane Cornell Summer Institute to assist with training, and we have gone to the South Asian Cochrane Center to assist them in training in systematic review for building capacity.